Colonies, we all have seen this tab in KSP2 roadmap, but I wonder what it actually means and what to expect from it. So, today we will be discussing the colonies. We all have tried making a long-term stay on another planet by building a base or orbiting it. Colonies add a new layer of realism to this. After this all are my predictions for Colonies update. As a game dev myself, Colonies update will have an interface similar as City Skyline game if you remember playing the great simulation city building game for designing colonies, and this may include all the features as O2 supply, food supply, and water supply. First, to establish colony needs some level of redundant supplies of these things. We have seen in a cinematic trailer how these colonies will look. A lot of new prop parts and a lot of attention to detail. To build colonies, there will be some resource that we need to provide, and I would love this if they do something similar to this. As exploration update, we can explore with our lander and rovers on new planets and scan/find for specific elements on planet, for example a device mounted on rover that can detect waters or H2O amount under soil, or another device that can take dirt of that planet as input and output a report for farming. If these reports are enough, then we can establish some colonies here. Colonies will require refueling stations and mining rigs, and as seen in early access trailer, we have multiple VB in game. So maybe we can establish a new VAB on different fleets and create new rockets on those planets and take off from there. This was all about the colonies we can build on land. Now we can talk about orbiting colonies. Yes, if we need to dig oxygen, water, and fuel, then we can make orbiting colonies. We need to depend on a small industry area on land that does all the digging work and extracting things and send all to orbit for people. Also, I think in this game Kerbals will age, but like a lot time after like 1,000 years lifespan. To add realism to interstellar travel, which is another tab on the KSP2 roadmap, I have a video explained that on my channel similar as this. So, the colonies will communicate with mainland Kerbal thought deep space networks type system, probably a habitat planet happening way far from Kerbal. We have to get a proper satellite and relay system, which will add new parts. Colonies will include landing pads. I really hope for a both approach is manual and atomic for decent landing on landing pad, like when you try to land your ship on land, but it do it on location automatically. But you also have options to land and do it all by yourself. For KSP nerds, all the updates on the roadmap of KSP2 make all the sense with each other. First colonies update, then interstellar update, which adds long distance traveling abilities. I have similar video for interstellar travel tab explaining video on my channel similar to this. After that exploration update, I am most excited for this exploration update, because it will add all the new solar system and galaxies on near distance and interstellar distance, and exploration update will be the final update for the content addition to the game, unless they decides to extend the roadmap. I think this is most likely to happen, because if you can see there is a blurred tab after multiplayer tab in roadmap image, so we can expect some surprise from developers as a new content addition or a new feature. And this is quick rundown of all tabs on KSP2 roadmap. If you, like me, are most excited for Kerbal 2's edition of multiplayer, prepare for some minor heartache. We're going to be waiting for that feature for a good while. In our interview, Simpson said that after the early access launch, new features will be added to KSP2 in stage rollouts. First up will be science mode, a progression mode that rewards exploration with increasing technology levels and new kinds of parts. That'll add some optional structure to the launch sandbox mode, which lets you build willy-nilly without having to unlock parts. The next stage rollout will add colonies to KSP2, which Simpson says are going to change everything. Colony gameplay is about facilitating the collection of resources. He says, there's a system that works hand in hand with colonies called the delivery route system. The way that system will work when colonies are in place is I can set up a colony using prefabricated parts I brought to a site on a vehicle, and then the colony can bootstrap itself by constructing its own vehicles, including resource extraction rovers. I can automate those missions. I can drive a resource extractor out to a resource deposit, drill for it, extract it, drive it back, and then turn that into a repeating delivery so that I continue to receive that resource over time. The colony gets the ability to utilize those resources to expand itself. Then the delivery route system does something even cooler. You can automate the transportation of resources from one colony to another colony. Once you have that capability, you can set up orbital colonies that are functionally hubs, to which you're ferrying resources from multiple star systems, even. It almost becomes like you're building a trade network. That's pretty exciting for me. Maybe most importantly, colonies are pretty fun to build. It's still Kerbal, right? If you build a tower too tall, it's still physical. It'll fall over. The stage after colonies is interstellar travel. That order makes sense because you'll essentially have to have colonies to construct the massive vehicles needed to go interstellar. You'll need to build interstellar ships in orbit, and they'll be much more complicated than the ships needed to reach the Mun or another planet in the Kerbal system. Simpson mentioned the mothership concept. As an example, building multiple landers and attaching them to a larger vessel, which has to travel vast distances over a period of years and years. This will require a new scale of parts not available at the start. The Deb system is the first, and so far only named, star system that'll be added to KSP2 as interstellar travel enters the game. And then, finally, we'll get multiplayer. Once interstellar travel is in place, KSP2 will have the fundamental underpinnings for our complete career equivalent mode, Simpson says, which is now called exploration mode. Currency is out, and resources are in. The key driving force for exploration campaigns will be the resources you collect and transport between colonies and use to build new vessels. The mature game involves a lot of locating, extracting, processing resources at colonies, which then unlocks new capabilities, Simpson says. New resources can be used to develop new kinds of technology. Then there will be a delivery route system. Once we have all those things together, we're going to wrap it up with a nice big bow and deliver multiplayer, which I think a lot of us are very eager to experience. That wait's going to be hard. I'm purely speculating here, but I imagine it'll be at least a year of early access development before multiplayer arrives, given the complexity of colonies and interstellar travel. But Simpson did tease one particularly exciting detail about multiplayer. It's not just going to be cooperative. Thanks for watching. I will see you in next video. Like, subscribe, comment your ideas.